we country facing its darkest hour. So our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try, just a little harder. If we just get one more try, life would be much sweeter. Analyze just what was the problem. Yes, we start making very positive moves to solve them. We fired the old session managers we had working, and it's a new group we went and we bring in. And if the goods we require, them new managers not supplying. When election time come back wrong, it's new ones we bring in. But if it's one thing about my people, I could guarantee that they would never ever put party before country. And now the country facing its darkest hour, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try, just a little harder. If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. Treasury was full and happy time some was enjoying. It's in over and love and people was living. Now the treasury flat and the country come back to square one. Poor people remain on the same old ghetto injunction. But to get the economy returned today on some footing, it's the same poor people 10 days and cola they're taking. And without social unrest, poor people paying the price, because they know for the country nothing too much to sacrifice. And if the country facing its darkest hour, so our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want you always remember. We could make it if we try, just a little harder. If we just give one more try, life would be much sweeter. As loyal citizens, it's our duty to stay and assist. For we know to ourselves there could never become a day we're not deaf to this country we can regain. So who wants to go, I have no objection. But while outside I want you to have some consideration that your country of birth is in its worst day in history. And we must do what we can, regardless where we may be. Our country facing its darkest hour, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever we feel to surrender, it have one little thing that I want we always remember. We could make it if we try, just a little harder. If we
One more try. Thank you, Rampoon Radio USA. Thank you, Rampoon Radio USA. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can make it if we try just a little harder. The countdown for Barbados lockdown is on. We had my apologies. The countdown is on. 14 days to lockdown. Okay, there's a feedback. My apologies for that. There was an echo on another device. 14 more days, day 2 of lockdown in Barbados. We want to say good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to Lockdown 246, day 2. Tonight, we have, it is going to be tight. We're going to be moving like this. And it's going to be interactive, informative, educational. It's going to be fun. A little bit of everything is going to be here. Okay? So we had You Can Make It If You Try. And now we're going to have the poem by Mr. Adrian Green. You Have What It Takes, followed by the 10 Commandments of Lockdown by Miss Gina Moore. The 10 Commandments of Lockdown by Miss Gina Moore. You got to hear this. So let us go with Mr. Adrian Green from Barbados. You have what it takes.
You have what it takes. You have what it takes to pull your foot off of the brakes of your life and accelerate towards the destiny that is your final destination. And anything less would be a total desecration of the sacred temple that you are. Because you are blessed with visions that only you can see. You've been given dreams that only you can make a reality. And to rob the world of your unique contribution would be a tragedy. Because you have what it takes. You have what it takes to take those dreams from behind your eyelids to right in front your very eyes, from the back of your mind to right in your front lawn, or anywhere you want it. Flaunt it. Your greatness is not to be kept secret. It ain't like the good cutlery that only special guests get to peek it, seek it. And when you find it, shine it like a star, a perpetual light to guide others like you, lost stars, to their rightful place in the sky. How you want to travel? How you really want to travel? We can hover light years above the earth's surface, or we can roll up in the gravel. Cause we dig our own graves and we build our own castles. So let me know if to hand you some cement blocks or a shovel. One time somebody tell me, Mr. Green, hand me a space shuttle. Hand me a space shuttle. Cause I plan to build a mansion on the moon. But why not Mars or Neptune? Do you really have what it takes to get that high? Or use just a hot air balloon? Nah, when I look in your eye, I see that you have what it takes. You have what it takes to shake off the shackles of fear and dive into the abyss of perils and risk, making mistakes and missteps, but still pumping your fist in victory. Confidence is not arrogance, and though life is full of mystery, you are not mystified. In the court of history, your ancestors have already testified that you have what it takes. By their very survival, when death would have been an easy escape, your ancestors expressed their faith that you, their descendant, would one day wake and take your rightful place in the race, firm and forceful, but full of grace. Through your tongue, your ancestors taste success. Through their sacrifices, you are blessed. So nothing less than your best is required. It's time to get fired up and quake all those who would underrate you. So they will never again ask if you have what it takes. Because it would be obvious that you do have what it takes.
That was Mr. Adrian Green. You have what it takes, and we're going to tell COVID that we're going to shake off the shackles of fear because we have what it takes. And with that, we're going to go to the 10 Commandments with Miss Gina Moore, Barbados.
Good night, everyone. Let me unscroll these commandments. Anne asked me for the commandments. I want to know who brought them. So let me give you the commandments and then tell you what happens after. So Annie is telling everybody hi. So first commandment, thou shalt only leave home if a limb is hanging by a nerve or tendon. Thou shalt remove any clothing worn outside the curvature within 3 feet of the front door. Thou shalt go straight to the bath upon return from outside of the curvature. Thou shalt not request snack before 11 a.m. Thou shalt not express being hungry within 2 hours of having breakfast. Thou shalt not leave online classroom to scroll through social media or play any sort of game. Thou shalt not confuse your mother every 5 minutes. Thou shalt have 1 hour of quiet time in the afternoon. Thou shalt run around in the yard after quiet time. And the 10th commandment, thou shalt give and receive many hugs and kisses to the people in this house. And would you believe that a day after making these rules, I was the first to break said rules? Auntie Mia and the commandment said to stay home, but to the doctor I had to go. I trust 2 visits from he last year, so I had to go before my name ended up in the Sunday paper. I wanted to know my whereabouts, boy. I come back from my trip quick and start to strip when my husband shout, "Not at the gate, what you think?" It was like I was headed for a divorce at this rate. So I went at the door and took them off quick. Straight from there to the bath I went to wash off this COVID excrement. So at least with the COVID commands, I was back on track. From there, all the rules were followed to a T. Thank the Lord Almighty. You might be wondering what my punishment was, but I did what Donald Trump could not get done. I pardoned myself.
That is so inventive and appealing. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much, Gina. That is extremely creative. I love them. Which one is your favorite, Charmaine? Thou shalt not eat on the live.
And thou shalt not confuse thy mother.
Thou shalt not, but listen, she said every 5 minutes. So you can do it 2 minutes. You can do it within 6 minutes. She said 5 minutes. That's what the rule says. That's what the rule says. We're going to come back to those commandments again. Thank you very much. And So we're moving on because we want to finish on time tonight. We're going to go to Mr. Curtis Moyes from Barbados, and he's going to be bringing greetings to the people of solidarity to the people of St. Lucia. Curtis Moyes?
Hi, good night, everybody. You can hear me?
Yes, please.
Right, okay. So to all my beloved friends and family from the Helen of the West, St. Lucia, tonight on behalf of my Bajan family and friends, I stand in solidarity with you as you go through the horrible horror of COVID-19. The horror with which you are faced is pretty much ours too. We once enjoyed a certain freedom within the limitations of COVID, but something went wrong somewhere and tables were turned, and not for the better. That has been our experience, St. Lucia, as it is yours. Well, excuse my manners though, who am I? And what does it mean to me that St. Lucia no longer enjoys certain freedoms in these COVID times? Am I just a random person who is extending sentiments because it is fitting to do so? Well, let me introduce myself personally. I am Curtis Moyes. You hear the name Moyes? Moyes, the French Creole for Moses. I stand here as one of many Barbadians whose roots are buried deep in the land of St. Lucia. My mother was a Lucian, St. Lucian. And actually, just before the name Corona hit the world scene, over 50 of us Moises from across the Caribbean and as far as the USA and England were planning a family reunion in St. Lucia. This was to be held in October in 2020. Those plans, of course, were shattered by Corona. So I think you can feel me now. I'm a Lucian, born in Barbados. However, outside of that is a much broader spectrum. St. Lucia, a world, St. Lucia has been the cradle of many successful Barbadians. My most important message, however, is to you St. Lucians at home and abroad, is that you are not alone. You are our neighbor, our sister from next door. We hurt when you hurt. We smile when you smile. We love your cadence. We love your zouk. We love your jazz, your piché, your sauté. We love your fruits, your mangoes, your bananas.
This meeting is being recorded.
We love your hospitality. We stand with you against this COVID-19 epidemic, pandemic. St. Lucia, we love you. That's it, my friends. Good night.
And good night to you, Curtis. Thank you very much. And we have a response to you. You sent greetings to the people of St. Lucia. And now, Mr. Earl Bousquet from St. Lucia is going to be sending solidarity to the people of Barbados.
Thank you, and good evening, one and all. And COVID protocols having been established, please accept Bajans everywhere the next few COVID comfort words from St. Lucia. Call it what you want. Lockdown message to Bajans from Lucians, or as we say in Creole, Solidarité et Fraternité by Jean Babad sorti Jean Lucie. And or as my Bajan friends would have said in the second half of the 20th century, the lockdown lowdown from St. Lucia. So Bajans and St. Lucians are locked up under lockdown. Almost 500,000 Caribbean souls of all colors, cultures, and creeds living today like never before. Masked like unarmed bandits, we face curfews and states of emergency and a special 21-day sentence with fines and confines for consumers of any kind of alcohol in St. Lucia, except visitors. In Black Rock or Black Malay, we have to mark time and watch and whine while trying to follow online and offline how to play Chinese checkers and snakes and ladders on draft boards and Ludo tables with loaded dices on devices. We, the people, continue to be blamed for being too hard headed, or, as you say in Barbados, too licorice, as we continue trying to swim against the tide of conspiracy theories like the Chinese and Bill Gates in a COVID conspiracy to put microchips in rice grains and vaccinations to depopulate Africa and take over our minds in Barbados and St. Lucia and all of the Caribbean. But the big issue tonight is to vax or not to vax. And if to vax, which vax? And if not to vax, then what? Just wait to live or to die. But we are all of us in this together. And Barbados and St. Lucia are also the first together in many COVID things. You were the first to have a whole prison under COVID lockdown. We are the first to have an entire COVID protest by 7 inmates turned Tuesday night at Bordelais in St. Lucia into Friday the 13th by Wednesday morning. But despite the restrictive protective measures, there are some things we must do, whether in Barbados and St. Lucia, like remembering what Sparrow sang long ago, that soap and water keeps you fresh and clean. So, stay at home and wash your hands. And remember what Michael Jackson said about the heat. Let's beat it. Yes, let's beat the heat under lockdown and not each other. And remember what Sister Sledge taught us. We are family. So learn to live like family, whether again or for the very first time. Like yours, our hospitals are filled. No more room for COVID patients, meaning we now, each of us, need to be the nation's other new hospitals by just having more patients, like with each other. The vaccines are coming fast and furious, from Astra to Zeneca, Sputnik to Soberania, from a local farmer to big pharma. But this COVID business is not as much about dollars and cents as about common sense, which, as you well know, still isn't common. Instead, it's a subject of numbers and science, not plots and plans or pots and pans, not a pandemic, but a real life 21st century pandemic. Those of us old enough, join me as we look ahead under lockdown by fast forwarding back to the 60s and 70s to recall, first of all, Guyana's Eddie Hooper, who urged us way back when to take warning. You better take warning. And let's remember the Draytons too, Barbados's dynamic duo from the 20th century age of spooge, who also warned us way back then when the steel donkey was still coming down to Bridgetown and the Merrymen was warning Bajans to clear the way. The dynamic duo, the Draytons, to warn us that if we don't do what we have to do, too late shall be your cry. Well, none of us wants to cry, and I'm sure none of us wants to die. The same way, we all want to go to heaven, but none of us want to die. So, even though we all want to enter the pearly gates beyond that great beyond, let's not make a COVID 19 our one way ticket to heaven or hell under lockdown. After all, with over 2 million COVID souls having taken that a single trip up and down the invisible escalators to heaven or hell, it's only reasonable to assume that COVID prevention and protection protocols are also in place up there and down there, just like right here, to make it crystal clear you are not welcome here. So, folks, don't be called a COVIDiot. Just always remember never to forget that the best and only way out of our daily 2021 COVID nightmare is to fight COVID right here. Yes, right here. Neither there nor elsewhere. Right here, morning, noon, and night. This is Earl at Large. And back to our studios. Over to you, Miss.
Thank you very much, Earl at Large. Greetings from St. Lucia. That was original, innovative. That was just brilliant. I loved it and I enjoyed every moment of it. And I am sure the Bajans would appreciate the way in which you connect and move from St. Lucia and then back to Barbados, and even talking about the steel donkey. What do you know about steel donkey? Good grief. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have a decision to make. So we have a sensei in the house, Sensei Ian Withers. In fact, Sensei is an Olympic representative for Barbados. I'll let him tell you about that if he has time. I doubt he has time, but that will be a story for another time. And we have Miss Jenny Lucas, right? Jenny is going to tell us about her favorite, a real Bajan meal, not no pretending, no macaroni pie and them kind of thing. She's going to tell us about a real Bajan meal. So the battle is, should we have the food first or the fitness first? Which one? Food or fitness? Look at these licorice people. Everybody
fitness.
No, but after you eat, you have to work it out. After you eat, you gotta work it out. After you eat, you gotta work it out. Never mind.
Always said food comes first.
Food comes first.
I would say both too.
Oh. Well, in this case, we'll take the lovely Miss Jenny Lucas, and hopefully she provide us with both too. Sensei Ian, stand by. Jenny, tell us about this lovely Bajan food growing up.
Oh, good night, everybody. First thing I would say, I'm not a big eater. All right. But you hearing me?
Nice and clear.
Good. So you want one meal?
One meal for tonight. You can come back with another one next week.
One meal.
Yeah.
As far back as I can remember.
Yes, please. And we know the chef was Lady Alma in the abstract.
Yes. Back in the day, as far as I can remember, way back, I'm going to a Sunday meal. Right? A Sunday meal. No, no, the activists might not feel too good about this one, but this is back in the day, all right? Some men in district, a fisherman, whatever, a turtle will come up, okay? A turtle. And they will butcher it and engage it. I remember turtle stew. Turtle meat stew. Way back in the day.
Wait. What soup is it? What soup?
A turtle. Turtle.
You want locking up in lockdown.
That's what I'm saying. This is back in the day. So you activists might not be too, think too kindly of this one, you know, save the turtles, blah, 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 you know. But that was a meal back then, where you would engage the turtle, you engage meat, just like the cow and the pig and so on. And it is said that this turtle meat, some parts taste like beef, some parts like mutton, but I can say it was a lovely stew, especially the fin, with rice and peas and then vegetables were always, plentiful. So you had no lack of greens to balance it out. And I guess you wash it down with some lemonade or swank. This is back in the day. What else? Maybe some sweet bread.
Tell us about the egg meal, man. How you put the egg in the rice for flavor, man. Bring the real thing,
Well,
man.
you just one meal. So I tell you one meal. That is a Sunday meal.
Oh, that's a Sunday. Okay.
That's a Sunday one. The stew, the turtle stew, and so on. So you want a Wednesday meal too?
Yeah, give me a Wednesday meal. Give me a Wednesday meal, man. Give me the real thing.
I take it you want to save the turtles. The Wednesday meal might be soup made with some pig snout, yam, potato, sweet potatoes, and yam and whatever carrots, whatever else there would be, Or some people might have the rice and which is what kind of peas there is now? Rice and peas. Peas. And if there was no meat, you'll boil an egg and make some gravy and put over the rice. Or saltfish. You hungry yet?
No. I am still at the egg with the gravy eggs. I'm still at the gravy eggs. You have to tell us how to make the gravy eggs.
Well, you want a recipe?
I listen, but what you put in with the egg? You boil the egg.
I just tell you what the meal was like. I didn't know you want the recipe.
I just need to understand how this egg and rice going down.
You boil the egg.
You a Chinese?
You boil the egg. And then you fry your onion, and remember I was small, This is way back in the day. I can't remember all these things. But I tell you, you how you normally would make your gravy, you fry your onion and your red pepper and your tomato. I don't think there were sweet peppers. I don't remember sweet peppers. You had sweet peppers? Maybe there were, but I don't remember sweet peppers. Just the hot bunny pepper or nigger pepper, and you then you put your boiled egg in there, you mash it and you make your gravy. You put it on the rice.
This is one for the record. The egg gravy. Let me just do a check. How many of you had egg gravy? Raise your hand if you had egg gravy. Come on with this egg gravy. Nobody, Jenny, you alone have egg gravy.
No.
Alma have a lot. Lady Alma, Dr. Anthony, tomorrow, Lady Alma have to explain this thing about the egg gravy. She could have given you a piece of egg to eat. I don't understand. And no black pepper.
No red pepper, man.
Red pepper?
Bunny pepper.
Pepper for taste.
Or nigger pepper.
Oh Lord, that's not you sure that's a Bajan meal?
That's a Bajan meal, as Bajan as you can get.
As little England as you can get. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing that. We have to get the dinner. We would have to get.
But then I have to tell you that the rice might still have some flat ribs or something,
Oh, and then the pigtail was a good one.
Maybe pigtail and or flat ribs.
Okay, flat ribs. Okay, we'll talk about that one tomorrow. We'll talk about that one another time. We'll Talk
All
about
right.
that one another time.
Story
Thank
for
you.
another time. All right.
I like the one with a pigtail. I like, but not the turtle. You and I would take issue with the turtle. I still got one. Is
Yeah,
that how you?
I know. Yes, yes, yes,
No,
yes.
I don't
We,
have
we
a meat
don't do that
problem,
anymore.
I don't have a meat problem. I just have a turtle problem.
Yes,
So,
even turtle eggs.
yeah.
Even turtle eggs.
Well, these people are familiar with the turtle eggs. I can see Dr. Nixon had turtle eggs.
All right.
Heather Thompson still smiling for she turtle eggs.
Okay, all right.
Poor Dr. Anthony. Dr. Anthony probably trying to save the turtle to see how much he can get in the sea.
Save
Mr.
the turtle.
Bousquet, what's going on with the turtle eggs in St. Lucia?
We have a turtle season. I don't know for Barbados, but we have a season. It is allowed for a 3 month or 4 month period during which you're free to eat and drink turtle food and turtle eggs as much as you would like to. But when it is out of season, you can be fined and confined because, like with everywhere else, the whole move to preserved turtles is on. But I tell you, when the season is on, it remains a delicacy, and turtle meat continues to fetch a higher price every year.
Okay, so I guess the bowl is on with your turtle meat, but I will leave you there with your turtle meat, and I will go to Sensei Ian. Thank you very much, Jenny. Thank you very much. You have sparked the turtle conversation. Sensei Ian from Barbados.
Good evening, everyone. Was listening to all the things, and just to let you know that I have my own Lucian roots as well. So my grandmother is Lucian, so Saufe, Ula, Mr. Buske, good stuff. So I have a little piece there in me, and I mix up bad enough too. So one from Guyana, one from St. Lucia, one from Saba, and one from here. So a true Caribbean man. So happy to meet my Caribbean people. Now, this evening I thought, wait, you can see how I'm dressed? Sorry, you can see? I dress up for you all this evening because I thought I would like to, be special when I heard everything that was happening. And I have to show you, first of all, how to bow, because it's judo that I dress for, right? So if you're sitting down or you're standing up, I want you to stand up with me a little bit so that I could, show you how to bow. You can stand up for me a little bit. Look, I dress up. Good. So your hands can go by your side and you can bow just a little bit so.
But Sensei, some of us have on a Zoom outfit.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Bend your knees, so you can do this. Right. Now, you can sit back down now because we can do all the other exercises from the chair. Now, the bow is something special in Japan, right? And they have such a history like us too, because they have this respect for ancestors and people who are older and things that have gone before. And the bow, now in COVID time where we can't hug up and shake like how we wanted to, the bow is a way to say hello, but it is also a way to acknowledge and show respect for other people, acknowledge their presence. And you take your time and you pause, because you don't do a bow fast, you don't rush and do so. You step forward slowly, take your time, and I can show you again. You take your time and you bow. And that is showing respect. I don't have to touch, but at the same time, I am acknowledging your presence and saying it is good to see you, really good to meet you. So the rest of things now we're gonna do some little exercises. So you have to sit up straight because you can breathe. Go and sit up straight and proper. You're sitting, you're ready? So we're gonna breathe there. So I want you to put your hands by your side. You can't see my hands right now, but your hands by your side. And then as we breathe, we're gonna bring your arms up, inhale, and then as we exhale, they're gonna go back down. Okay, you ready? We can do it 3 times. Ready? Get ready, inhale. and exhale. Now we're going to inhale through our noses and exhale through our mouths. Now inhale. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Now, so important. At this time where we know that COVID can challenge our breathing, it's a really good thing. Early in the morning, no, we have curfew, so you could go early in the morning, out in the garden, just in front of the house, where it's early before the small amount of cars that moving around start to move and pollute the air. Get the fresh air and go out. And you can do that 3-4 times. Breathe, take in life, breathe deeply, and then exhale all the challenges that you met. And you make it your meditation. You breathe in life, exhale, get rid of all the challenges, and start your day with that. Next time I come on, I'll be fast now because we're moving fast. But next time I come on, we can do some of these stretches and everything to see how we can move up and take in some of the sunshine and do as we go outside in the early morning and live strong. Thank you for your time, peoples.
Thank you, Sensei Ian. That was really nice. That was really easy. And how do you guys feel with that little exercise? Just a little breathing exercise. You feel a little light. Look at Heather. Look at Heather. All ready to go. All ready to go. Now, we're going to move on over to the Bahamas. And this lovely lady here, Miss Heather L. Thompson from Nassau in the Bahamas, is going to do a story for us tonight. So sit back and enjoy. Heather?
Good evening, everyone, and commiserations on the lockdown. We've had our share. The story that I'm going to read is called The Donkey That Tried to Bark. Once upon a time, there lived a simple farmer whose dearest friends were his dog and his donkey. Each animal performed important tasks for the farmer, and he in turn took very good care of them and treated them well. Indeed, the farmer, the dog, and the donkey were a most happy family. Every evening, after the day's work was done, the farmer would see to it that his animals were well fed. The dog would be given a fair share of the farmer's dinner, and the farmer would cut a bundle of the best grass for the donkey. This was the way things went with them for many years. But the donkey was beginning to grow tired of things as they were. He began to imagine all kinds of strange things. He began to think that the dog was more favored by the master because he shared in his master's dinner. And although he could not ask for a better meal than the grass the farmer cut for him, after a while the donkey began to long for some of the cooked food that the dog enjoyed. In this state of mind, the donkey began to look for all kinds of examples which he felt would prove that the dog was better treated than he was. Why did the dog remain at home all day while he was forced to go to the fields with the farmer? Dog was supposed to keep watch and guard the house, but Donkey was sure the dog spent the entire day sleeping while he, Donkey, had to work in the scorching sun in the fields. Soon the donkey began to think that the reason why the farmer treated the dog more kindly than himself was because dogs were better than donkeys. And the donkey decided to change his ways and become more like his friend dog. In this way, he thought he would please his master and so get the same kind of treatment as the dog. Now, at nighttime, Instead of braying, Donkey would try to bark like dog, but he neither barked nor brayed. No matter how hard he tried to bark, he could never manage to sound like dog. It was a strange and frightening sound that came from his mouth each night. It was even stranger and more frightening to see Donkey galloping around the farmer's house some nights. He would wag his bushy tail and make these frightful noises, pretending that he was chasing thieves. A few days after he had started this strange behavior, the donkey began to refuse to eat the juicy grass the farmer brought to him. He preferred the scraps of meat which the farmer threw from his plate. But since the donkey could not catch with his mouth, the dog got most of the food and he often went hungry. Donkey soon got quite weak and thin. He could no longer work in the fields. The farmer realized that the donkey could not cope with the field work anymore. He didn't want to overwork the donkey, so he decided to leave him at home. Donkey began to think that field work was low and humiliating. He was quite happy to remain at home with the dog. He fell into the habit of sleeping at odd hours during the day, but felt that this was a good thing, since Dog himself used to do this. In fact, Donkey made up his mind to become a better dog even than Dog himself. Many days passed, and Donkey continued with his strange behavior. The farmer, much as he loved the donkey, was becoming more and more impatient with him. He could not understand what had come over his faithful, hard-working friend. The donkey refused to eat his food, but fought with the dog for the dogs. The donkey slept in the day and remained awake at night, making the most frightful noises. Finally, the farmer lost his patience altogether. One night, when the donkey was carrying on in his usual way, the farmer took a stick and began to beat the donkey. He beat the donkey until he was so tired he could hardly lift his hand to lay another stroke. The poor donkey was so shocked he did not utter a sound. He just could not understand why his master was beating him this way. Never before had his master lifted a finger to hurt him, and now there was even more reason why the master should be pleased with him. Surely, he thought, I am no longer behaving like a donkey. I may not be able to bark exactly like the dog, but I know that with time and a little patience, I shall be able to do most things as well as the dog. Surely, my master should praise me, not beat me like this. Donkey felt that he probably wasn't trying hard enough. The next night, therefore, he tried even harder to be like Dog. He filled the night air with his strange braying. The farmer, tired after a hard day's work, could not get to sleep. Donkey was again beaten. He was so puzzled now, he did not know what to do. At last, he decided to speak to Dog about his problem. Tell me, my friend, why does the farmer treat me this way? I tried very hard to be good and to please him, yet he beats me so badly. I've been watching you for a long time, the dog told him. I was hoping you would realize for yourself how foolishly you've been behaving. Me? But how? Are you foolish? I'm just trying to be like you. That's what's foolish. You are trying to be something you're not. That can never be. You can never be a dog, just as I can never be a donkey. The donkey opened his eyes wide. Never again would he try to be something he was not. He became the wisest donkey in the land. That's it.
Thank you, Heather. The thing is, I don't want anybody calling me a donkey, even though the donkey is wise. Now I understand why whenever you get someone angry, they will call you a donkey. Cute. So I would stay in my lane. I've learned that I would stay in my lane and not be a donkey. So now we're going to move. Thank you very much, Heather. Well read and well received. I'm going to stay in my lane, and I'm either going to go to Michigan or should I stay in Barbados? Where we want to go, Michigan or Barbados? All right, some people sound as though they want the beautiful Miss Dr. Jennifer Edwards from Michigan. Dr. Edwards?
Hello and good evening to everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Good evening.
For those who have gone on before, I enjoy what you all have to share. So today I want to talk a little bit about the children's care with COVID-19. So the first thing we want to do and establish with children is to have a regular routine from morning to night so that they get used to know what to expect and what's going on and how they should behave appropriately. So Aeon mentioned about going outside and getting the exercise, and I would highly recommend the importance of exercise, especially in the sunlight, between the hours of 10 and 2. If they have a backyard, let them out there and let them exercise. They would be able not only to build muscle strength, but they would also be able to improve on their daily activities. So instead of staying in the house all day long, let them get outside, do some exercise. And that goes for mom, dad, grandma, everyone must exercise every day. Keep moving, keep the blood flowing, help with peristalsis. Okay, then when we think of COVID-19, besides the exercise, an important everyday activity should occur: hand washing with soap and water. So we have sanitizers, but the sanitizers does not take out the amount of dirt or germ that lays on the hand, and the hand touches everything. So let us make time to wash the hands. Important too to understand, most recently, within the last week, that the virus, remnants of the virus have been found in bowel movement. So certainly encourage the children and yourself to wash your hands, especially when you use the bathroom, because the germ can be passed on from the bowel movement. Another thing we want to recognize is the children's feelings. So we've got a change that has now become normal. So it's important that we ask our children every day, how are you feeling today? And even as one of the doctors suggested on World Health Organization, you ask the question twice. So you'd say, I'd say, Anne, how are you feeling today? And Anne may say, oh, I have a headache, or I am tired of this. And then I ask her the second time, Anne, how are you feeling about how you just reacted today? So that you get a better understanding of what is going on in the minds of the children that you're working with. The children need, everyone need, but more so children need to be told in simple language, honest language, what you are trying to do and what COVID-19, the effect that it's having on you. So let your children know that you yourself, you are overwhelmed, you are stressed, you are tense, you are anxious, you filled with anxiety, we've lost their job, everyone is at home now, you know, you have to plan school, but be honest with the children. Let them know how you feel so that they in turn would be able to tell you how they're feeling. Taking the meditation a little bit further on, it is a good idea if the children are able to write, give them a little notebook or exercise so that every day they can record their feelings, and in the night you can read it so that you better understand what their emotional need is so that you can help them the following day. You also need to establish a ritual for morning prayer, noontime at meals, or even nighttime before they go to bed, so that when they're ready for bed, the last thing that they want to hear and know is some comforting words of love, joy, and peace. Hugs are good, but some way when you close off the evening or you retire the day, you want to make sure maybe sing a song for them while they're in their bed, but try to make them feel as comfortable as you can, especially during the night, because in the nighttime, when they see a shadow of their clothes hanging on the wall, they may think it's someone coming to get them. So try to make them be at ease at nights when they go to bed. Another important factor that we need to be ever conscious about, parents. If you have a child under the age of 12, that child should not own a cell phone, because the cell phone at the bottom of it, where you insert the charger, when it's not in, the electromagnetic force is coming out from under here. There are two places in the body that has electrical activity: your brain and your heart. Your brain and your heart is my business. So I want to tell you, you want to take the very best care of it. So children, not before you reach the age of 20 to 22 that you really have, your brain is fully developed. So children would make foolish decisions, but most of all, exposure to the cell phone and 5G, the wires that we have out there with the electromagnetic waves, it's not good for the children's heart, because that's the first place it goes, or to their brain. So if you're a mom or dad and you have your cell phone and your child is here and you're using it, try not to use your cell phone while you have them. Studies have been done, shows that it has a negative effect on the brain waves. Okay? So monitor the length of time if you have a child under 12 years, but preferably you don't want a child to own a phone 12, 13 until they understand. Have holding this in their hand, mom putting it in her pocket, dad putting it in his pocket. The problems that can come out of that: brain cancer, heart problems, tachycardia, the works. All right, so let's talk a little bit more now about love. Everyone is born into a relationship, and the way we express joy or gladness to have someone is through love. So not only do you bow to show that respect, but you can smile. Smile is a universal sign language that everyone understands. And you always want to have a positive, upbeat, positive vibes, especially when you have children around, because children are keen observers of adults. So if they see you get angry, they're going to act out that way. If they see you're loving, they will tend to act that way. But everyone needs love. In counseling, 98% of the counseling is problems that people have with relationship. You've got to learn to love one another, to enjoy each other, because what COVID-19 has taught us, it has brought families closer together, because now everybody is quarantined, now even with your lockdown. But most importantly, that everyone needs love. And we start first, God love, he gave us the one source, the sun, the moon, the ocean, the water, the land, whatever. But it is important that we also have a relationship with God, so that our children later develop that relationship with God. When mom and dad is not there, there is someone who is always present, although they cannot see him, but that there is that person whom they can always call on in time of trouble. I want to talk quickly on keep calm and carry on. So when you cooking, you're teaching them from their kitchen, from whatever you're doing, or you take them on a walk, or you go outside and play ball with them, or you do jump rope, you skip with them or something. Whatever you do, whatever activity, just make it fun. All right, just maybe one more minute. It's okay.
30 seconds.
How many?
30 seconds.
So let's talk about the simple thing as wearing the mask. So it is not necessary that, especially young children under the age of 5, 6, constantly be wearing this mask because one, it prevents them from breathing properly, and two, it is not a healthy practice to continue. Let's talk a little bit about food. Important. We talk about turtle eggs. I've never heard about turtle eggs, but it is important that they understand COVID-19 is just a flu. It's your body is lacking vitamin C and vitamin D, also calcium and magnesium. So you want to encourage them to eat their fruits, you want to encourage them to eat their veggies, and you want to encourage them every day to get out there and get some sunlight. And then when we talk about food, fruits, we have such a variety of fruits in the island. Here, today I picked up 3 5-star, $2 for one. So $2 US, $2.50, but maybe about 6, 12, about $2.20 with tax for 5-star. Unlike home, we have a neighbor and we also have a tree. They fall to the ground, but here it's expensive. It's almost $5 Caribbean money. So encourage them to eat the fruits. We have lots of mangoes that's rich in collagen, the vitamins, and so guavas are good. Encourage them to eat it. And last but not least, I must tell you about, let's just choose one more thing. Testing. So for testing, to know whether or not you have the COVID-19, even if you have been, someone in the household has been tested positive, there is nothing to be alarmed about. The COVID-19 just takes a period of 2 to 3 weeks to run its course. Main thing, you want to keep a strong immune system. And I go back again to the heart and the brain. Make sure you feed the brain with clean water every 4 hours. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Secondly, not only do you hydrate, but then as I said, what you eat. So you want to avoid the soda pops, the sweet drinks, and so. Preferably coconut water, orange juice, grapefruit juice, clean water, but you want to cut out as much as you can of the sugary food that you give them. And when it comes to testing the child for COVID-19, you want to avoid having them do the nose swab, the tongue swab, or the sputum, the saliva. Preferably, if possible, let them do for the children the forehead skin test, or else to let them just do a blood test. But the swabbing of the nose and the throat can ignite and stir up the gag reflex, which is not very comfortable. The gag reflex is only there for if you're choking on food. So do not engage young children or even yourself, because I wouldn't take it to, I understand it's very, it's not very comfortable. The blood serum test, the IgG, it is accurate. You get the result in 24 hours and it's less painful and more accommodating.
Dr. Nixon. Thank you very much, Dr. Nixon. I think you have to come back and I have to bring you back with another doctor because I know you just, you probably set, yes, you set Barbados on fire because some persons would have lots and lots of follow-up questions for you. Extremely
Lovely.
informative. Thank you very much. And we know that we're already over time, but we got to bring you back because we need to have the other side of that conversation. We have
Okay.
to have the other side of that conversation. So thank you very much. Extremely informative. Now we're going to the Antiguan living in Barbados, who is going to be here telling us about the herbs, the 2 herbs in Barbados. And that is Dr. Anthony Richards. Dr. Richards? You're still muted?
Howdy, 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 howdy,
Lovely.
howdy, 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 howdy,
We hear you
howdy,
now.
howdy, howdy, right? Right? In the old days, Sparrow sang about the witch doctor from a land afar. Right? Not a witch doctor tonight. Right? Thank you very much, Doc, for your informative pointers. But since we've gone over time, I have just 1 or 2 words. I was asked to share with you 2 herbs which we could use during these times, right? And thinking it over, I thought I'd better go on and through the scientific literature and find out which ones have the best evidence. And I'm glad I did it. I found an excellent study that came out of Brazil where they said, okay, here we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, and we know that there are no good drugs available. You know, this came out in September, and the drugs that there are available are expensive, and even so, people are going to want to do something for themselves. So they looked at some over-the-counter remedies, and they looked at 39 plant medicines and asked which ones are good, which ones are promising, which ones are negative, and which ones don't we know. They chose those 39, 40 herbs by looking at the lists of the herbs that are approved to be used for medicine in different countries. Everybody knows, because I keep saying it, that every country has a book called a pharmacopoeia. And that pharmacopoeia is the list of drugs approved for use in that country. Some countries also have an herbal pharmacopoeia, right? A book listing the herbs approved for use in that country for certain conditions. So they looked at the herbal pharmacopoeia of Brazil, some in Europe, some in North America, and also at some materials published by the WHO, and they compared them, right? The first thing that they said is that 5 herbs stood out from the 40 as being excellent, and then another 10 or so, right, seemed like they had promise. And by excellent, they meant that they could find studies where somebody had taken these herbs into the lab and done tests and see if they work in the lab to kill viruses. And then somebody had tried them on mice or rabbits, and then somebody had tried them on humans. So that was good evidence. Others were just promising and others were negative. So they also looked at a couple of the over-the-counter drugs and they said, hey, ibuprofen looks good, right? Paracetamol and codeine don't seem to be particularly useful. They found no good supporting evidence, okay? The herbs now, I'm gonna mention just 2, right, that showed real promise out of the 5. But just quickly, the 5 were marshmallow, and not this marshmallow, but a pink flowered plant that grows in Europe in the marshes, right? It's the original name marshmallow because it's slimy.
In the marshes.
Okay. There was
licorice, there was myrrh, like frankincense and myrrh in the Bible. Um, there was elderberry, right?
Good.
Here's,
That's good.
yeah, elderberry flower. Here's the,
Yes.
here's the paper here, and I'm just going to just check back on it. But yeah, among the 10 that were so-so, they found some evidence that ginger was promising, okay? That not that ginger wasn't good, but there was not strong evidence yet, okay? It's promising, okay, among others. Um, and so I wanted to just to shine a light on the elderflower. Um, it taken according to tradition. It's just a pinch, a few grams of the flowers, right, in a teacup of hot water. And within a couple of days, the patients who had been given the elderflower showed real improvement with upper respiratory tract conditions, right, compared to the patients who had not been given the elderflower, right, tea. Okay, there's also elderberry, but what I'm talking about is the flower of the elder, right, of the elderberry. And it grows in Europe, it also grows here, right? Um, um, then the ginger also looked good, that within 5 days, um, the levels in the blood of all kind of factors, right, that fight viruses, all those factors were going down, showing that the virus infection had been overcome. And 10 days, after 10 days, the people who had been taking ginger, right, were also faring better than the people who were not taking the ginger, right? Right. Also in the list of promising with the two echinaceas and so on. So I'm going to leave it at that. We've gone well over time, right? Oh, I just wanted to say one thing, that not every study proves positive for an herb. They looked at lemon, and you think, yes, drink lemon, right? But lo and behold, there's still no convincing study that shows that lemon has any great effects in fighting viruses and upper respiratory tract infections in these conditions. And on the other hand, some of the flavonoids, the compounds found in lemon skin and lemon juice can actually have a harmful interaction with some of the drugs that we use. So that's it. Try out elderflower, right? And try out ginger, right? Good night.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard. Extremely useful and informative. But quick question, I know that we're over time. How do you prepare the ginger? How should you?
By traditional means, a nub of ginger, a bit of the root, okay, extracted, ground up or grated, make a tea from it, and drink it 3-4 times a day in a tea. Right?
Okay, and what about chewing the ginger?
Yes, that is not the method that was tested. That's not the method that was tested, but yes, I'm sure that chewing the ginger slowly chewing a piece of ginger over the course of the day, right, will have some effects. Just to mention that ginger does have its side effects, and people who are taking anticoagulant mechanisms, blood thinners, right, and pregnant women should avoid overuse of ginger.
Dr. Richards, I know that there are a number of questions coming out from on the YouTube and the Facebook page for
So thank you very much, everybody. I really enjoyed you all. Enjoyed Adrian Green as usual, right? I was delighted by the 10 Commandments by Ms. Gina Griffiths. And those came from left field. I never expected that poem. Fantastic. Thank you very much, St. Lucia and Barbados, for your pick-on with each other. Thank you all. Doc, Right, good to see you again.
Same here.
Right. Thank you for your
Right.
wisdom.
Before we say the
And
thank
good
you,
talk.
Yes.
before we say the thank yous, Dr. Richards, can you just give us your email address really quick, please? Dr. Richards, can you guys hear me? Dr. Richards, can you hear me? Dr. Richards?
Yeah, we can. I can.
I don't think he's hearing me, but I need him to put his email address because there are a number of questions coming for him. Now we're going to have just a short word from Dr. Nixon again. And then we're going to wrap up because we're way over time. We're at 9:13 and we wanted to finish at 9 o'clock.
Unmute and unmute.
But I'm not
unknown to unmute.
I'm not muted. I'm not muted. I'm not muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Richard, we were asking, we're gonna hear Dr. Nixon real quick and then we do the thank you.
Okay, so every day I want you to keep one word in mind: wellness. So just think about this little song, and then 3 things I want you to be fully aware of, given Dr. Anthony Richard's talk on the herbs. So everyday wellness, everyday wellness, everyday wellness is what Miss Nutmeg recommend. Come home and come clean, come home and come clean, come home and come clean and eat all the breadfruit that you need. Come home and come clean and enjoy the sunshine, lime, and dine. So when we had the soca, lime, a head bath was the healing medicine that we use for Zika. The chicken,
Gunya.
Gunya, yes. So the sunlight, the lime juice, he didn't mention lime, but lime was one that worked. And then to dine, be careful of what you eat. As I say, eat well. But to the front of your mind, every day should be everyday wellness. I thank you.
Everyday wellness. Thank you very much, Dr. Nixon, for taking us home with that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Nixon. And thank you to Miss Gina Griffith. Gina Griffith, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Remember, this is happening for 13 more days. 13 more days of COVID. Thank you very much to
Isn't Miss Alma
Jenny? Miss Alma is going to be on tomorrow. Dr. Richard, your girl is going to be on tomorrow. Thank you, Jenny.
Gorgeous.
Thank you for your egg gravy. I have to try the egg gravy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Busquet has he's a journalist. So his news time was coming up, so he asked to be excused along with Heather from the Bahamas. They had to run on over. So we want to also say thank you very much to Dr. Richards as usual. Thank you very much to our in-house biochemist. Thank you very much, Dr. Richards. And we want to say welcome and thank you to Sensei Ian. Sensei Ian, where are you, Sensei Ian?
Sensei Ian was just outside doing his Tai Chi.
Thank you very much for stopping by, and we hope to see you for another Beige Lockdown 246 right here on Rampoon Radio, USA. And Kais Belgrave, he was one of our participants from last night. And we also, Peter Clark. Interesting, Peter Clark. Peter Clark, show yourself. Thank you very much for coming. Those of you who are in Rampoon land or on Facebook and YouTube, we say thank you. And before we go to Miss Lucas, we're going to go to the St. Lucian, the man of the St. Lucian roots, who are in. What's going on with your cell phone, Curtis?
I'm here.
We can't see you. What happened? You take up the power?
Yeah, turn on.
Thank you very much, Curtis, for the greetings to the St. Lucians. I'm sure that they would appreciate the solidarity. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
Sakafet, Sakafet.
can you say sacrifice? Oh, I hope that was a good word to say. Yes, you guys might have to say some nasty words in here that I don't want to say. And we want to listen. We want to welcome 91-year-old Alma Lucas in the abstract. Good night, Lady Lucas. 91-year-old Alma Lucas from Barbados.
Well done, well done.
Thank you very much. You'll be hearing and seeing her tomorrow. This is not her bedtime. This is not, don't let her fool you. This is not her bedtime. And she is the lady that was given the poor lady, the poor child, egg gravy. Egg gravy. So with that, we're going to, we also want to say thank you to Mr. Rampoon Radio for taking us live and bringing us a little music. Rampoon Radio, are you there? Rampoon Radio?
Yeah, we here, sir. We here.
Yes, thank you very much for facilitating and accommodating us and taking Beijing to the world and walking us through the lockdown. Anyone have a time? All right, I think we are a little bit bye, guys. Have a good night and get ready for school. And remember, do not ask your mother for a cell phone. It is not good for you. And Dr. Richards, you created all kind of ruckus in this house tonight. So those of you who are on the Zoom, stay put for a little bit if you can, just for a little 2 minutes. And we're going to end the live on YouTube. So goodbye, YouTube. See you tomorrow at 8 p.m. for Lockdown 246. Thank you for viewing.
Wait.
Let me stop the recording.
The recording has stopped.
Good. So now we don't have the recording. We're not live. We're not. Oh, Rampoon Radio, are we still live? Rampoon Radio, George? Let me just check real quick because I don't want us to say anything that would get us locked up.